I wanted to come on here and talk about something so important, which is sharing your story. I got to the US when I was 14 years old, and when I got here, I just realized not too long ago, the last 6 months have changed me massively. And this is the time frame in which I realized that there was a voice of our conscience that actually guided us. I knew we had a conscience, I knew there was a voice, but I didn't know it was so active. And I didn't know how close this voice was to God. It turns out that this voice is the voice of God. When I got to this country at 14, I knew I wanted to be an actor. And the night before my mother and I had to go back to Peru, I told her, please leave me here because I know this is what my calling is, to be an actor. I need you to support me. I can only picture my mom's face when I started saying this, but I was crying as hard as I had never cried before. I can still remember that night. We were in someone's guest room, and we were here for a couple of days for a wedding, but we were supposed to go back. And I ended up never going back. A couple of days later, I'm like, okay, I'm here, but I don't speak English. How am I gonna do this? So that was the next step. I had to learn the language. But soon enough, I was walking about a week later instead of taking the bus because I had spent my money, my bus money. And as I was walking, I turned to the left and I look up and I see this huge banner that says free acting classes in Spanish. And I was shocked. Now I know, but at that point I didn't know that that was the blessing that came with taking a leap of faith, with listening to my conscience. Anyway, things happened and it's been a long story and I'm going to be telling you here and there about it, but now what I want to say is that I've listened to the voice of the voice of my conscience for very, very long, but there are times when I've said no. I don't, it's great that you want me to go this way, but I'm going to go my route. And I feel like you keep going on loops until you actually do what you're supposed to do. For example, now I'm putting more effort into helping other actors actually produce their own films, which is something I did. I've produced 3 feature films and 3 short films. 2 of those feature films I've written, and 2 of those short films I've written myself. And I've acted in all of those projects. So a couple of years ago, I would say 2 years ago, I had the idea of helping people to do this. And I even started writing a book, and I stopped because I thought that I wasn't capable of doing it. And I am fully convinced that I am great at doing it because I've helped people before to do it. But it's that fear, that voice of fear where you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna listen to that instead of my conscience that is telling me this is your path. So now I'm back on track, closer to God than ever, wanting to serve Him more than ever, realizing that sharing my story over and over and over again until as many people as possible hear it, so that they know that if a Peruvian that didn't speak the language when she arrived here, that was underage, that hated school, was able to do all of these things with her craft, then anyone that puts their mind to it can do it. And that is my message. My message is that you're capable. I am capable, so are you. anything that you desire, anything you put your mind into, whenever you have that burning desire, you also have all the resources to get it done. However, it comes one step at a time. You take that leap of faith, you get the resource. You take another leap of faith, you get another resource, etc., etc., etc. You will continue, just like a video game, moving forward and getting more and more and more resources so that you can continue all the way to the goal. The thing is, we can choose whatever path we want to take, depending on how important it is that we actually make an impact in this world. And now it's in my heart and in my soul that I don't want to leave this place the way I found it. I do want to leave the world better than I found it. And I think that is everyone's duty and responsibility. With that being said, please share your story. No one has it figured out. No one is perfect. Everyone is trying to find their way. Whenever one moves forward, then we all move forward. Whenever one succeeds, we all succeed. This is not a me against you competition sort of lifestyle. It's 2024. This is the era of collaboration. I help you succeed, then you help me. And we go together all the way to the finish line. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of the evening. I love you all, and I am here for you. Bye.